we are strictly ball business. We're moving on to hidden gem number 2, Cam Johnson. This guy, he is obviously was a first round pick, so it maybe wasn't such a shock for him to be a good player, but regardless, the improvement is worth noting. He's returning from injury this week, so he hasn't played in a few games, but before then, he has shot 45% on 3 this year, and last year it was only 35%. Rookie year was 39%, but the main point is the volume has gone up to 6 attempts per game, and he's still shooting even better than he ever has before.
Oh, yeah. Almost three three-pointers made a game. Shooting splits of 48, 45, 87. Incredible. What's really incredible is his field goal at 48. I know it doesn't sound impressive, but he has 65% of his shots are coming from 3. So if you know much about math, like that's gonna skew it, and that's really over half his shots are coming from 3. So typically it'll lean down more into like closer to 40%, but
because like 40% is good for the 3, but obviously not for your total. But he's got a whole 7, plus % higher than that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think the biggest part is it's kind of hard to see as a Timberwolves fan. I mean, you traded away 2 good players to get a lot worse of a player. Jarrett Culver for Cam Johnson and Dario Saric was the trade. It's probably the worst.
So we can look at everything with retrospect. I mean, at the time, like Jarrett Culver was a top 5 prospect in that draft, and Cam Johnson wasn't.
True. I don't know if he was a top 5, but he was supposed to be the best defensive player in the draft. Is why because they drafted for fit rather than skill at that time, which was fine. I was a fan of the trade at the time. I didn't think Dario was going to be much. Granted, Dario's been injured a lot, so I don't know how much they're missing out on him. And he's basically just their backup big at this point.
I do know the Timberwolves really wanted to get Darius Garland in that draft too. They traded up, and then Garland went the pick right before them to the Cavs. They didn't necessarily think that was going to happen because the Cavs already had Colin Sexton, and it seemed like not a good pairing to put them together.
Yeah. Darius only played 4 college games before getting drafted.
So I definitely think the Timberwolves expected to take Garland there, and then they ended up taking Culver. But anyways, this video is about Cam Johnson, who did end up going to the Suns. He's ended up on a much better situation than he would have been with the Wolves. Probably in terms of his development, wouldn't be where he is today. Maybe gets traded if he isn't on the Suns. But instead, he gets time to grow with these guys. He's been alongside DeAndre Ayton, who's come up as a young gun next to him as well. He's got Chris Paul mentoring him, Devin Booker, one of the best leaders in the league. Solid team for him to end up on, where he's got low pressure. He's like the 6th scoring option probably on that team.
He's not that high. I wouldn't say he's a scoring option, really. He's just really just a very good flop. He's option, maybe one of the first options for a floppy, which is usually one of the best plays where you just swing people around for a 3-pointer. He's great. I mean, he adds so much versatility to this offense. I mean, you can switch out. He's not the starting power forward or small forward because Mikal and Jay Crowder go up, and because both of them are better at defense. But he's not the best. Yeah, he's not the best defender. He's not the worst. I think he fits in well with the team defense. It's just like, obviously, he's a different specialist than Mikal. If they need a shot, they're going to come to him because he's one of the best catchers. I mean, most of his offense, you can take this as an up or a down, is all off ball. He's got, where is it? 60% of his shots are from the 2-pointer, from 2 points are assisted. I think 98% of his 98% of his threes are assisted. So, I mean, you can look at it as like, great, he plays off ball, perfect in the system. However, like, if the Suns ever get out of this Chris Paul big 3 and they ever move on, or he gets traded, you'd like to see him take more shots on his own. Just right now, I don't think it's knock against him, because it's obviously he's not, because they have a system that works. So he's great in his role. Perfect. He's super scary to watch in the playoffs. I remember the Bucks. Every time he put that ball up, I was like, oh, it's over with. And to be that young, 26 years old, and have that.
Yeah, he's
clout.
extension eligible this offseason as well. What would you give him for a contract? Would you give him an extension?
You see, I think if he was on another team and he had a higher role, he could get a lot more money. But in the role he's given, I think I'd give him a 4-year, $12 million with a team option on the 4th.
Yeah, I just
12, 14 million.
I don't know if I would want to lock myself into that if I was Cam Johnson. I mean, he's showed so much more improvement this year. Why would you not bet on yourself again?
Right. That was from the team's perspective. If I'm looking at him at what the player's worth, and that's not team's perspective too. I guess I was just outside looking at. I'd say looking at him, he's worth 12, 14, and that gives him enough time to grow. 4 is just more 4 years, obviously. I don't know. It's tough.
Are you saying 12 million per year or total?
Total.
No,
not total. Per year. 12, 14 per year.
Per year makes more sense. Okay. Because, I mean, I think that makes sense for both sides. I think total, it just made no sense because it was like, $3 million a year for Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
A lot. But
So like 48, 50 for a
yeah.
year.
I think that's totally reasonable, and they should probably pay that because, hyper efficient player you've seen grow. He's only been in the league 3 seasons. Like, you can assume he'd probably get better. And being around Chris Paul some more can only help him. And who knows, like maybe they do end up losing Mikal Bridges at some point, or
Jay Crowder's. Oh, Jay Crowder's old, so eventually
somebody's got to fill the Jay Crowder role for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's an immediate one, and the Suns want to extend their contention window as long as possible, especially when Chris Paul's gone. So you keep the talent you got in house because you're gonna have to pay these guys regardless. Like, they need to pay DeAndre Ayton this year. Like, I hope they've seen enough from that just to do it.
Yeah, especially last game yet.
Yeah, they've already paid Mikal. Chris Paul's contract will be up in 2 years after this, and then, I mean, Devin Booker's on a max too. So
yeah, I mean, it's just really nice. This young kid's about to see a second finals, I really think, and I think it's just a great experience. I think he's going to be in this league up as long as he wants to. I think he's going to be in it up until he's going to retire. I think he'll always have a role.
Yeah,
So
taking his stride. These will probably be his only opportunities to make it to the finals, just in terms of how a typical career goes for a role player. But who knows? But for now, he needs to just relish in it and enjoy it, and take advantage of it because he was great last year, and this year the Suns can take it home. They can finish it out this time.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're my favorites to win the championship. So. Yeah. And I'd like to see him with a ring. If you get a ring this young, then like I said, you'll forever have a place in this league. So many teams will want a veteran that has proven they can win, and he's obviously going to be a main part of that ring if they win it.
That's true. People will put a lot of emphasis on that. I mean, Trevor Ariza has had a job for years.
Yep.
He's been a decent shooter for years, but I doubt he gets the same love if he didn't have those great postseasons earlier in his career.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe this video if you loved it, and give us a hateful comment if you did not like it, since they got rid of the dislike feature on YouTube.